Wait, do you not think that if you called someone that, right, the very fancy heinous Voldemort word, right?
The N-word.
Why is it wrong to call somebody that?
What is the definition of the N-word to you? All right.
That's it, right?
Moving to the audience. You gotta not do the. Raul, you are being invited to speak. How are you doing?
I'm actually doing pretty good. Just hanging out, just listening.
I
Been
saw the
entertaining
discussions that
safely.
you were having between Daniel and Raul. And
I'm
those were
Raul.
interesting.
Yeah, I do think it was. Yeah.
But yeah, so you seemed like you had a lot that you wanted to talk about. So what do you want to talk
Oh,
about?
for sure. But first, I kind of want to put out an olive branch here. Yeah, fire up the grill. if it's not a human, 100% fire up the grill.
Fire up the grill, man. I love grilling.
Super Earth manage democracy straight into my fucking
Yeah,
veins.
yeah,
Straight in there.
yeah. By the
Yeah.
way, I just so you know, I just beat Chrono Trigger. We just beat it. I've been
I
playing
actually
Chrono
have no
Trigger
idea
for I don't know. Probably I would have to say goodness, like maybe 15, 20 weeks. I mean, my channel has been pretty much exclusively Chrono Trigger. So you know what's the next game we're playing?
Asking me? I have no idea.
I think all right, it's a Super Nintendo game.
Am I supposed to guess?
Yeah, why not? It's fun.
Let's see. There's quite a few. Super Mario. I played a lot of that when I was a kid.
Okay. It's not a bad game.
I mean, you could do a whole playthrough through that. That's pretty good.
All right. All
Not too
right.
bad.
You watching my
Try to
you
get
watching my
full
stream?
achievement. If it's on the Discord, then yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
on
should see it
YouTube
on the
right now.
Discord.
Mm-hmm.
You should already know what it is.
Oh, Metroid.
Yeah. Who's ready for some Metroid? Anyway, okay, all right, sorry. So go ahead. What do you got for me?
Let's see here. First, I'm not really going to be sitting. I think everything has already been really hashed out here. A lot of good discussions I've gone through, so I don't really want to beat any dead horses. I just want to know, how would you determine the gender of a dead person?
Ooh, good question. So typically, there's a way to determine the sex. In terms of the gender, you would probably have to look at some artifacts.
What if it is just their skeleton? Like you're an archaeologist, you come across ancient, super awesome ancient temple, you find skeletons.
Yeah,
in
you would
there,
only be
guys
able to
pulled
determine their sex. So
only
what you're
their
going to
sex,
look
not
is you're going to
gender.
look at specifically their skull, as well as their pelvis is very good at determining whether or not that it was a male or a female in terms of sex. You would
Okay.
observe, for example, a brow ridge on the skull. If it is more pronounced, it's typical of that of male. Mind you, right? Just one of these characteristics is not the end all be all. It is male or it is female. You typically look at a majority of the characteristics that then result in being male or female. I actually looked this up because I was like, I don't know why in my brain I just always associated skeletons as male. I'm like, women don't die. Like, I don't know. It was weird, right? Because it's like whenever you're like playing a video game and there's like skeletons, you never think that was once a pretty girl. You
Yeah,
always
yeah,
like
no,
they
I
always
feel
got
that.
like axes and stuff. And you're just like, that's a dude, right? Okay, but in reality, obviously, there's an equal amount of female skeletons as there is to male skeletons. And then I went down like a long rabbit hole where it was like, how do they even determine the skeleton is male or female, right? So okay, so I'm going to show you, all right, and I'm going to give you some stuff. Hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on, give me one moment. All right, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
All right.
So you understand what I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I talked to you about the brow specifically.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other features. Give me one moment. I'll post it and I'll share it live. Hold on. This is actually super fascinating. This. Hold on. Where's the Chrome? There it is. Okay. So I'll post it in side chat as well. So if you look right here, right, the first thing to note is the brow ridges, right, where if you have typically men have a more pronounced brow ridge. And among females, the brow ridge is usually receded. That doesn't mean females couldn't have a thicker brow ridge. Again, it's a combination of things that they look at, not one characteristic. There's, as well as the mastoid process is enlarged among men than it is women. And so they look at this side profile here where you can see that you can actually feel it. If you reach, you can feel it. It's usually right behind the ear. If you look right here, it's about there. And you can feel your mastoid process. Men tend to have a more pronounced mastoid process as opposed to females. They tend to have a receded mastoid process. And then it's not labeled here, but also typically the jawline among males tends to be more square, whereas the females is more triangular in shape. So there you go. That's one example. Of course, the other one is the pelvic region, but I mean, you don't even need the pelvis to determine if it was a male or a female. But get this, right? Here's how you could potentially determine that somebody by their gender would have been female. So take, for example, if somebody decided to get silicone implants for their chest, right? By gender, effectively, they would have been considered female because the silicone implants would not have degraded, right? But the skeleton would still be there along with the silicone implants.
So
That's
even if
just
it
an
was a
example.
male skeleton with a silicone implant, you would determine that skeleton, or I guess that
Gender
person,
female,
now a
gender
skeleton, to
woman.
be a woman.
Yep, by gender. But their sex would be
Okay.
male. Yep.
Okay, so you can be totally male and just be a woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. I just wanted to know, see if you had an answer for that, because I kind of wanted to know. And then I had another thing for you here. I know I'm not sure if you can actually pull it up or anything, but there is the on the Modern Day Debate channel where you actually debated Andrew Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
The video is still up, so I went to go look at it because I did recall you saying something that kind of was, at least to me, a little bit concerning. I wanted to get some clarification, and it was during the Q&A, so you might not even know it exists at this point. You might have forgotten. I don't know. I had to go back and look anyway, like to make sure I wasn't going crazy. So, roughly around the hour 52 mark, you had gotten a super chat. I was just asking you, much like people here have asked you, if it is just a big, burly, beer-bellied male that is just asking or demanding that you call them women, you would, if it was okay or not to not call them that.
Are they being serious?
So,
Like they're not being facetious?
I don't think that matters, but yes, they're being serious.
Yeah, female, woman. I'll
Yes,
call
and
them
that's
woman.
totally fine.
Socially, yeah.
So your answer to that amounted to this, and I do have it in quotes, not entirely properly correct. I didn't include like the extra like things like that. But you said, I'll be honest, if there was a big burly person that came up to me and was just like, you need to call me woman, I'd be like, I'm sorry. I would say, I'm sorry, miss. I apologize. Then you're going to say, you can go ahead and do that, as in not call them woman, but you'd be kind of like a jerk, and you may have some physical repercussions for it. So my question is,
You
what
kind of would.
physical repercussions would occur if I did not, if I was like, let's say,
Well,
like
they're
a
big, burly. I mean,
5'2".
they're definitely bigger than me. I'm not the burliest. I got
Sure,
some
no, yeah,
muscle,
yeah,
but
I
I'm not. I'm
understand
not.
that.
I'm not burly. Like
No, don't worry about that. It's fine. What I mean is, what repercussions would you maybe expect, and why?
well, I mean, you're just directly disrespecting somebody who's a lot stronger than you.
Okay, yeah. Does that make it okay to hit them, or what? Is that like? Is
Okay
that
to
what you
what?
think, or what? Like, do you think it's okay then if like is it okay to like hurt somebody if they don't affirm your gender?
No.
Okay, so when you're talking about this, you're saying it. You're stating it in a matter of fact way.
Yeah, I mean it could happen, right? Like
Right. Yes. But you don't condone that, right?
no, no, I don't condone any
Okay.
violence whatsoever.
Do you think that the reason you might call them women is so you don't get hit?
The reason why I would call them that is so I don't get hit. No, no, I just
No.
respect trans people.
Can that no? But
I have a
can
great deal
that
of
be a
respect towards
reason?
trans people.
Can that be a reason?
That could be a motivating factor, sure.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. So if that is the motivating factor for somebody, does that not discredit what you're trying to say? There are women. They don't actually believe that. They're not even using the term
Yeah, I mean,
woman
you don't. I mean,
as a
again, you don't
belief
have
that they
to.
are. They're just saying it
You
to
don't
not
have to
get
like
hit, right?
believe
They're thinking
gender
it's
is
very
different from
bigger than them,
sex. I mean,
right?
I think if you want to be more correct about something, you should determine that gender is different from sex, and then apply it in that direction. But I mean, like, I'm not. I didn't say that you have to. Like, there's flat earthers. There's people that don't believe that climate change is real. That doesn't mean like, oh, you don't have a right to exist.
Is in this case with this big burly person, right? Is it more or less rude to not affirm them or to be hit? Do you think?
I'm sorry. Repeat that. I
Sorry,
apologize.
let
I'm
me try my
I'm
phrasing.
fighting Ridley.
So,
I'm fighting Ridley. You gotta throw me a bone
right,
here.
yeah,
Do you
I
see me
understand.
fighting Ridley right now?
Um, is it more rude to physically harm somebody or to disrespect them by not calling them what they want to be called?
um, Not be more rude by disrespecting by something that they don't want. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to repeat it one more time. I don't understand your question.
Sure, yeah, okay. If you wanted me to call you, let's say, I don't know, the best amender ever, and I decided not to, right?
Bro.
That'd be rude, correct?
I Well, no. I mean, there's no like social like necessity to
Well,
complimenting me.
except for
So
your
something so wonderful.
self-identification, right? Your self-identification is like the best amender, right?
All right.
Does that not work for you?
I love it. I love it. I'm loving the best
Okay,
amender.
right. So if you demanded someone call you that and they didn't, is that rude?
No. There's no social demand to calling somebody a compliment all the time.
Okay, so if there were no social demand in someone who is not a woman being called that, it's not rude.
Sure.
Okay, excellent, cool.
But there is a social demand.
That was my question.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, but
hmm
there is a social demand. But yeah, I guess if there
What
wasn't any social demand,
constitutes enough of a social, like what percent of the population needs to, make that a sort of
hell, it could be a
condition
minority of
to not
population. The point is, like, you could be in a room where there's a bunch of transgender people, and it's like
rude?
most people don't affirm like the gender identity of trans people. But like,
hmm
if you're in a room full of trans people, you're like going to an LGBT parade where people respect pronouns, right? Absolutely, it'd be completely unacceptable to be deliberately misgendering trans people. Yeah, I mean, you're going to
Would it
get some
okay?
social
And
ramification for that for sure.
okay, here's a different question. If a person were to not affirm somebody, and then that somebody then punched them in the face, who is more rude?
Uh, I don't know if like one is more rude than the other. Like
You don't know if physically harming somebody and then basically insulting someone by a
no,
word
because
is
I don't
more
believe
rude.
like from a guttural level, I don't think like people are like free from consequence. Like I think that you ought be generally personally
Oh,
responsible for your own
okay. You
actions.
you ought to. You ought to, right? So someone who insults you and doesn't affirm your beliefs, and then you then punch them, that's just a consequence, right?
I mean, it can result in that.
Right.
I'm not in favor of that, obviously. Like I'd rather go the peaceful route, but I'm saying like I
Oh,
kind
okay,
of
but
get
so
it. I
what if I
kind of
don't
get
then?
it
What if I don't?
if somebody like
What if
is
what if I don't?
deliberately disrespecting trans people that
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
results in
sure.
social ramifications. Yeah.
Okay, and then what happens? Should that person go to jail?
No.
The person who assaulted the other person should not go to jail.
Oh, no, no. Sure. Yeah, there could be social ramifications for that. Sure.
Okay, cool. We're good.
So you disagree? Say.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, punching somebody is worse than insulting them. Yeah,
Eh,
and
I mean, like, I'll be
argue
honest, man. Like, have you
far
ever
more rude.
like
Yeah.
seen like a videos on the internet of like, I don't know, like an old dude just like calling like a black guy the N word or whatever, and then the N word just like I'm sorry, the guy calls them the N word, and then the black guy just goes ballistic and just punches the crap out of them.
Yeah, that's wrong.
You don't think it's deserved at all?
No, no,
Really?
not at all.
Why is
Really?
it? Why
Yeah.
is it like okay, like to just be free of social ramifications when it comes to like being verbally aggressive towards people? Why should they face
By
zero
verbally
social
aggressive.
ramification?
Should all social ramifications be physical then?
I mean, it results in physical. I mean, I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying I get it when people do it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
hell, there's even a semblance of justice that is made when something like that happens. Like there are people that genuinely go, "Yeah, that guy kind of got what he deserved."
Would you
Like,
argue that
don't
if
get me
someone
wrong, I'm not
has
in
stated
favor
that,
of physical punishment that way. I really would like the black person to just walk away. It's probably better that way. And honestly, like the black person will probably go to jail by doing that action. Right. I don't think that they are like free of
yeah,
social
the black person
ramification, but
laugh in their
that does
face because if they did, it's the word's a lie anyway.
what?
So
I'm sorry, what?
like the N word, it's a lie. It's not. It means like it means someone is property. Humans, no. So they should just
What?
either walk away or just
Where
call
did you
them
get that?
ridiculous. Wait, do you not think that if you called someone that, right, the very fancy heinous Voldemort word, right?
The N word.
Why is it wrong to call somebody that?
What is the definition of the N word to you? All right,
That's it, right?
moving to the audience. You gotta not do the.
Yo, that was wild. That was wild. I'm sorry, but I had to hop up here after I just heard that.
Peace, 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 bro.
Did
Yeah, he did.
seriously?
Yes. Peace, bro. You're never coming back. I don't know what to tell you. You just ruined all opportunity of ever
What?
coming on the show. How about that, man?
Oh,
How about that? You enjoyed that?
oh my goodness.
Yo.
Don't say the N word on my show. What's wrong with you?
He didn't even censor it either, bro. He didn't even use neither is okay. He didn't even use like the one that people sometimes use socially one. He just went straight for the neck.
I asked
My
what's
bad,
the
I'll
definition
hop
of
down.
the N word, not to repeat the freaking N word. All right. The definition, by the way, you could just pull it up on Google. It's a contemptuous term for a black or dark-skinned person. Okay? Highly offensive. You just wouldn't say it. Okay? So, yeah, unfortunately, because of that, we can't continue. So, I'm sorry. Good talk. I